And we're live. We are live for this birthday boy, the old man.
Yes.
Old man.
All AF.
What mic is that? Is that a Yeti? Is that a Yeti
Yeah,
mic?
it is a Blue Yeti Pro mic that I've had since I believe 2014, 2015. It was somewhere in between, like somewhere between season 1 and 2 of the Flash podcast where I got,
Gotcha.
and it's lasted for all this time. So I'm
I got a
very
blue
happy.
I got a blue wind speaker for mine.
I'm considering putting my mic back on like the kind of stand that you have it, because I'm like, something like this does get a little like tiresome, and like I would rather like have the mic like here in
I
front of
I
me.
used to have an arm for
Mhm.
my snowball before,
Oh,
and I just it was just getting really tiresome moving it around. And I'm like, this mic's way taller. I can just speak right into it. Obviously, I got to be careful because if I scream or yell, it's gonna like the sound is gonna like go insane. So I don't want
gotcha.
to do that. It's like I just gotta be careful. Um, I share this on Twitter.
I will blast you. I will blast you with a retweet. I haven't been on Twitter too much today. But once I came, I will tell you the funny story in a moment because um,
Gotcha. I mean, I find it crazy because like today was like pretty crazy. Like I didn't expect um
everything to happen.
yeah, Resident Evil, Welcome to Raccoon City trailer. Like, I didn't realize New York Comic Con was happening until last night. Like,
Yeah,
oh.
my cousin is literally at that right now, and I'm just like, ugh, I'm jealous.
So
So
literally, it's like we had that, and then they were. There was a tweet from Greg Weisman about Young Justice. He finally said DC fandom, like he finally spoke about it. So, um, and then the biggest thing, at least in my opinion, was the announcement that the actress who played Sabrina Spellman from
yeah,
Something About Sabrina is going to be on Riverdale. It's like, okay,
yeah. Oh yeah, we will talk about that. I think because I am a huge Sabrina fan, and I am a Stockholm syndrome viewer of Riverdale. So
Julian says happy birthday. He says
thank you, Julian.
he loves your Green Lantern's lantern you have.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
back
that
there.
thing. Yeah, it
Happy
lights up.
birthday.
Thank you, Sniper.
Favorite episode of What If?
I
Probably the finale for me.
I'm behind, but I think the the Starlord one with the T'Challa is my favorite one.
Oh, episode was
Like
that
three or
two?
four. It's like 3 or 4.
4 was the Doctor Strange one. Hold on.
Okay, it's probably 3
Playlist.
then.
Playlist. Let's see. I pull up my playlist. Um, 2. It was 2.
Episode
3
2 that was good.
was What If the World Lost Its Mightiest Heroes? Um,
Mm.
what's the last episode you watched?
The last episode I watched, let me check. And the thing is, like, I don't know why I've fallen behind because I do really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
I think the last one I watched was, um, what if Killmonger rescued Tony Stark? So I'm 3 episodes
Okay.
behind. So it gives me a good
I don't know if
three.
I don't know if you'll like episode 7. I mean, it's definitely a different tone, but 8 and 9 are like bonkers. So,
Okay.
yeah. But you need to watch episode 7
Yeah,
because
I know.
yeah.
I heard it was very for centric, and I'm like, ugh, fine, whatever. But
Yeah.
I've just had so much to do that it's just ridiculous. But
I mean,
yeah,
I get it. Hey, watching interviewing John Westership,
yeah. Oh, that was incredible. Because I haven't talked to him. I mean, we talked on Twitter, whatever, and so, but I haven't interviewed him since um like I told him like like literally it must have been like season 2 of the Flash when we last met each other, because he didn't come to Comic Con the
Mm-hmm.
first times after that, probably because he had other things to do, which is fine. Like, but and also like, I think that's when they kind of stopped bringing like guest actors with them because he wasn't a series regular. But either way, like he remembered he had a great time, and we had a good time chatting, and he gave some really good, compelling answers. And I guess I was like maybe the only outlet that decided to ask, like, "Hey, can you just clear up which Jay you're playing?" Because I read like a ton of interviews. I was like, so no one like because all the fans were blowing up in my Twitter feed. It's like, "Oh my god, someone confirmed that." So I just don't like did other websites don't care. Did they just not care, or
They probably don't care so much about the continuity of it all. I was annoyed that we didn't didn't get any inclination of that in the show, but I guess it makes sense because in the flashbacks, something else entirely is going on, and where would you fit it in? I just kind of, I don't know, just kind of wish they would have said something about like he has to travel back to his Earth, or like if he travels to Earth 2, because it was Earth 2. But I'm wondering, was that Earth 3 at the time?
Here's what I think has happened. I think that what post-crisis, like everything that we saw in episode 9 is in a post-crisis context. So, but years before, Jay Garrick, met Barry Allen and the others, I think he was on Earth 2 as a resident. He was part of the team, and then I think maybe because this is what's so tricky with Stargirl is that Pat has kind of like declared almost every member of the OG JSA team is dead. But as you and I have seen throughout the season, it's clearly not the case.
Yeah.
And I think the reason they didn't show every death on screen is that they could have these plot twists of like, hey, you know what? It might actually be a chance that they are back or they're alive. So I think at some point, I think Jay faked his death, and I think he took I think he took Joan with him and traveled to Earth Prime. And at some point, they befriended Barry Allen and the team and so on. So that's
well, actually, Crisis didn't, because Ruby Rose decided she was not going to be the Bat of the Future anymore.
Yeah, they just don't talk about like. I mean, the only show that's talked about Paragons at all is just Flash Season 7, and which makes sense because Flash was the show to set up the Crisis the most. So, but yeah, like it's just like they just don't focus on that anymore. Like, yeah, so it's sad.
Sad.
It's sad.
It is. I mean, it's like one of those things where the writers will pick and choose what they want to talk about. I mean, you also remember too, they did do something very heavily with Crisis with another version of Beth, they did that. So, but in terms of the Paragon stuff, I understand why they may not want to cover it that much, because you got to remember, like, no one else besides Kate during Crisis was involved in terms of Earth 1, Earth Prime's versions of those characters, like Luke and all them. They were not a part of it at all. So to kind of tell them that she was a Paragon, like, it would have I think it would have really messed up. Like, what do you mean there was a crisis? What do you mean that you met a version of me on Earth 90 or whatever, and I worked for the voice of Batman from the animated series? Like, it would just feel kind of crazy. Happy birthday, J Star says happy birthday. Rex.
Thank
also.
you, J-Star. Thank you, Rex.
Wish that Christ didn't have Paragons. Not sure if this is a hot take. I hear you, because it came out of nowhere, because I think they should have introduced the Paragon stuff at Arrow Season 8 leading up to Crisis, maybe hinting at Paragons. But it's like kind of strange how literally out of nowhere, it's like after Oliver dies in Crisis Part 1, they go, oh, by the way, Paragons.
Yeah, like I think if anything, they could have used either Flash or Arrow specifically to kind of introduce that concept, including like the fact that Jim Corrigan didn't show up until like the episode of Crisis, where like you could have introduced him as a regular character in season 8 of Arrow and really develop him and whatever and so on. And I that's what I would have preferred, honestly. But again, look, Crisis is my favorite crossover, and like I feel that I don't know if they can ever top it, at least
they
for
won't.
the time being. I mean, I think Armageddon is going to be great.
Oh yeah, I hope so. I mean,
but at the same time, there's just a missing ingredient, I think, at this point. Like, I mean, again, but Armageddon could blow my mind out. Thank you, Jason.
I mean, based off of certain things in Armageddon that I am not confirming or denying that I've seen, I don't know for sure. Who knows what I've seen? But in terms of the characters they're bringing in for Armageddon, and it's not like 2 or 3 episodes, it's 5. That's pretty significant. Like, that's
Yeah,
pretty good. So there was like one name drop of Paragons, but yeah, absolutely. I don't remember it being mentioned until the Monitor was ready to mention Paragons. I don't remember him mentioning that before. Maybe that I got the timeline wrong, but my thing is that if the Paragons are going to play a very important role, which they do in Crisis, how about Monitor names drops, like he just goes, there's a Paragon of heroes, like just like telling Oliver, like maybe because there's a couple different points in Arrow season 8, Oliver's like questioning everything. How about the Monitor just like drops the fact that, look, it's either you help me out or our last line of defense are the Paragons. And it's like, and he goes, what? And then he goes, look, I need you to focus on helping us drop stuff. So it's like something like that would have been interesting because Oliver was not told hardly any information. So I understand. So at one point they were trying to find a way to defeat the Monitor because they didn't trust him. That's typical Oliver. Can't trust a god. There's no word for him. He's like, well, there's no word for what I am, so I guess a god will suffice. Yeah. Okay. So Oliver's like, I'm going to try to take him out. And at one point, if you remember on Supergirl's episode, part 1 of Crisis, like he shot the arrow and it like knocked him down, the Monitor, a little bit because he kept on wanting to fight.
Yeah, that was weird.
So the spin-off show, no, it's not a possibility. They have confirmed it. Variety, Deadline, they're confirming it's happening. She's signed on for multiple projects, including her own show. And people are saying they better call it Agatha all along. That would be hilarious.
I mean, listen. So, like, I guess today my birthday is just a witching hour now because, like, today the Agatha news came out, and
that came out. Yeah, that was
and then Sabrina came out. I'm just like, okay. I mean, I'm all good with witch news every year now when I get older. So why not? So that was
every year. They better announce next year Sabrina is coming back. They're bringing the show back, and they're going to announce it on your birthday next year. That's what they'll do.
I mean, the thing, you know what's so funny? My birthday keeps being used for a lot of funny things. Like The Flash premiered 7 years ago on my birthday.
It's crazy.
I think Black Lightning also premiered on my birthday. And then I think there was one season of Arrow where the premiere aired, and I was like actually really happy about it. And then, it's like I'm just like, listen, I'm all good with it because sometimes like in real life, outside the internet, my birthdays are usually not the greatest. So for the purpose of this year, it was really good. I hung out with my mom and my dad. We junk food. We played intense Go Fish. My mom and I are apparently like just as competitive. And then we watched Knives Out for the first time. And
nice.
For the first time in almost over a year, I actually like, because with the whole pandemic thing, so like, you want to be careful, but like we actually hugged for the first time today, and it was
there you go.
So I'm like, and also then I see on Twitter, I'm like, what is happening? Why are all these things happening?
Everything was just dropping. So Badass 9000, good name by the way. I get your point about the Paragons being from Earth 1, but you also got to think too, it would be harder for us to follow heroes that we've never met before as Paragons, like the last line of defense against the Anti-Monitor. Like, it would be cool, but I don't think it would have the same impact because if we really don't know them, we only know them because of Crisis, then I think it would be kind of strange. I don't know. And then again, I really hate the fact that Lex Luthor had to write himself in to become a Paragon because it really should have been Brandon Routh. It would have been amazing.
Well, that could have also been a little weird for maybe like the Airwort itself because it's like, well, like Tyler's about to get his own show. Why isn't he a Paragon? Like, so like it works and works against it at the same time. So
I think it works for the Superman arc of Brandon Routh's Superman from Kingdom Come because he had dealt with so much loss and was still a hero, still trying to bring hope into his world. So I get that. I just hate the fact they went with the Lex Luthor route because I feel like that just, the more I think about it, the more I get frustrated at it because I'm like, you really just like shit the bed on that decision because I get it. Like John Cryer, he wanted to be in the crossover. I get it, but you didn't have to put him in as a Paragon or have him write himself in as a Paragon.
Yeah, I loved his version of Lex, but I feel that in the end, like they made him like they made him a little just too overpowered, and where like he can just grab the book and like, he can give himself power, but
And the
there's no
monitor's
side
like, it's all part
effects.
of the plan. No, no.
Yeah, I asked that it was part of the plan, but yeah,
Do you think Marvel shows are much better than DC shows this year? It's hard to say. Um, I would say they both have their positives and negatives. So so it's kind of hard to say. We won't be able to say for sure until we hit 2022. Then we can look back and see everything that had dropped in terms of Marvel and DC and have a better understanding of what was better. But then again, it's like it's all subjective because we all have different. We all thing is DC has more TV shows right now than Marvel,
yeah,
so it's kind of hard to compare the two. It'd be different if Marvel had more content, but right now Marvel they're starting to slowly get more TV shows out there. But right now they're like it's very different too because you think about it, you got HBO Max, Titans, Doom Patrol. You have CW, all the variety of shows. Marvel only has one outlet right now. It's just Disney Plus. It's the only outlet they
yeah,
have for Marvel content. And they're not putting it out at the same time. And they're not 13, 15, 18 episodes, 20 something episodes per season. They're 6 or what if was 9.
yeah.
So it's kind of
Yeah,
hard to judge.
and for me, I feel that what's so sad about it is the fact that, Marvel Television, like the division, I feel like they had really started something really cool. They had Agent of Shield. I mean, Agent of Shield got to run its course, for 7 years. That's, because
Yeah.
that was the show everyone kept saying, well, that's gonna get canceled after only one season, and then it's the longest running Marvel TV show we've had. We had all the Defenders shows that had really good, good runs or whatever and so on. And then we had Ghost Rider coming to Hulu, we had Runaways, we had Cloak
Yeah.
and Dagger, but because of politics, because of behind the scene nonsense, I mean, like Marvel Studios just wiped out their big site that they had developed for almost 6-7 years now. So like, you know, for me, and the problem with these Marvel Studios shows is that I do love them, but with some of them, I can't really feel the difference between them being a TV show or like just another Marvel movie. And like WandaVision felt like it felt like an event. It felt like an event series, like something
Yeah.
like
It did.
yeah, like it felt like an actual TV show. And but Loki and Falcon, I just feel like it's just a movie but spliced up in a few parts. And I think Falcon and Winter Soldier fell. They missed the mark a little bit. And Loki, like, I wasn't sure what they were trying to do because I don't like their definition of the multiverse, where like it's just all when the multiverse equals now alternate timeline. But I'm like, but that's not what general audiences think of now when they think of the multiverse. And then,
Hmm.
but what if I think after WandaVision, what if it's like my favorite show, and then it's been whatever
Yeah.
it's been between Loki and Falcon.
So Triple X here has a thing about Kevin Feige's giant ego, canceled all the shows. I wouldn't say his giant ego. I think the idea was like the leadership changed and Marvel changed because years ago it was Kevin Feige was running the film division. You had other people running different divisions of the Marvel company, and I forget his name.
Jeff Loeb, the
Jeff
TV.
Jeff Loeb was running TV stuff, and so all these plans were being made in terms of all, like you said, all the Netflix. You had Hulu. You had stuff being announced for Hulu in terms of Ghost Rider. Of course, that fell apart. And then they were trying to do a spinoff of Agents of Shield with Most Wanted with
Mockingbird and
yeah,
Mindhunter.
and that fell through. And so they tried to do a variety of stuff. And I think what now they're trying to do is, even though the MCU was just one timeline, and they were trying to make it to where they didn't want shows created outside. Because once Kevin Feige now controls all of the media of Marvel in terms of TV and films, that you're not going to be seeing shows that are going to be outside of the MCU. But I think that may change because of the multiverse. I feel like what they could do is establish a character or a team in the multiverse somewhere, introduce them somewhere, and then they can spin off into a show where it's not happening on the MCU timeline, it's happening on their timeline, but you know the difference because they've already been established somewhere else. Like, I think Multiverse of Madness might be a way where they could do that, where they introduce through the multiverse some heroes or a team of heroes that they spin off into its own show, to establish and stay in their continuity and not clash with the MCU, because now there's all these big events happening all the time on one Earth, and it's like getting really ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like, how much more can they keep adding all this insane stuff into one Earth? Eventually, it's going to get overpopulated with heroes.
I think what's just so annoying to me is I feel that we have some tremendous characters with the original Marvel TV shows. It's like, and I don't like, and I feel like it's not so much ego, but it is elitism, where it's like somehow
Mhm.
like the TV shows aren't like they aren't worthy. Where I'm like, I think Shield has had some of the greatest like female characters than most of the women in the MCU. Like I'm like, Ming-Na Wen can take Black Widow's take a run for her money
Yeah,
anytime.
yeah, she could.
And yeah, and it's like
Yes.
and like we have Daisy Johnson, we have Yo-Yo, and we have Gemma Simmons, and we also Mockingbird, and I just feel like I think there's a way where like you can still establish all of these things that happen, because that's what they've said in almost every interview. Everything they've always said is that all the shows that has happened are in the MCU. It's just that they are in their own corners or whatever, and so on. And because Coulson like literally helps them in Age of Ultron, but
Yeah.
they don't know it, and it's annoying me. So I'm like, yeah, like I would, to answer that question in a long-winded way, I would say I think the DC shows this year are doing better because season 2 of Stargirl, Superman Lois has been great, and we've had Flash with all the things they've done, and then Titans, Doom Patrol, and with Marvel, it's just like it's either like it feels like a show or it feels like it's just a movie but split up in 6 parts.
Yeah.
Because
At least for What If, it's a different story each episode. Like, it's
yeah, and I
something
love
new.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you seen Venom Let There Be Carnage yet?
Uh-huh.
You have seen it.
I've seen it.
Okay, because there's a super chat here from Swift Dog, and he said happy birthday to you first.
Thank you, Swift Dog.
When do you see Tom Spider-Man beating Venom in a full-on fight for us to watch? Is do Spider movie in-game level? Well, I don't know when they're gonna fight. I don't know.
Who says they're gonna fight though?
That's true. I think that it's kind of implied, but I don't know because we don't know the relationship, because this Eddie Brock has no ties with Peter Parker. He doesn't know. So I don't, unless the symbiote's like, ooh, I want to attach myself to Peter, which is what happens in the comics. So, but he's already attached himself to Eddie. Usually the symbiote attaches itself first to Peter and then to Eddie. So they'd have to do a role reversal for that. And if the new Spider-Man movie is in-game level, I don't know. Because the next question from Z-Smooth here says, are Electro and Green Goblin confirmed for No Way Home? Electro is, because Jamie Foxx was confirmed. Green Goblin, like Willem Dafoe, not confirmed, but they're saying he's in it. I don't know.
There's at least a Green Goblin. I think that's fair to say.
What post do you mean? What post?
Oh, I think maybe the post-credit scene, maybe, or something. Like, if I had to guess, but with him, you never know.
Post-credit scene. It meant a lot to a lot of people. Just saying. Just saying. And he said I left.
Yeah, I just don't focus on him.
It was crazy because I didn't realize that the Flash's 7-year anniversary of its premiere was today, because I literally watched the pilot today. Not even knowing. And I'm like, what? And so I was watching some other, I was skipping through on Netflix, just skipping through just random bits of the show from season 1. And I'm like, God, the show is so different. Just watching. And then I watched Arrow season 2, the episode where they introduced Cisco and Caitlin with Deathstroke trying to find that the machine he needed to build the Mirakuru soldiers. And seeing Cisco and Caitlin, I'm like, oh my gosh, they look so young and so different. Before Frost, before Vibe, any of that crap. Nothing. Before they found out that the person they were working with for the Particle Accelerator, all that crap before Ronnie died, it's Ronnie died before, but all this stuff. And then I forgot about this too. In episode 2 of The Flash is when they revealed officially that Harrison Wells can stand up. He's not in a wheelchair. He's not stuck in a wheelchair. It was episode
Dum dum
2.
dum.
I forgot how soon it was. I thought it was later on in the season when they revealed that, but I was wrong. It is weird, Julian. It is weird as hell. It is.
And now we're into season 8.
I know. We're into season 8 and no Cisco.
As far as we know, right, at least in the beginning. I mean, I'm sure he will pop up as a guest here and there.
I would hope. Do you think Venom was the one Peter was spooked by in the trailer? Do you think it's Lizard? I think it's Lizard. They've brightened up the image. It looks like a lab coat.
Yeah,
So-
I've gone back and rewatched it so many times where I'm like, I feel like I see, like I can even see like claws or something, and
Yeah.
so yeah.
What Star Wars trilogy do you think is worse, the prequel or sequel?
I mean, I hate way more things. I mean, I hate most things in the prequel, and like I mean, also here's what's weird. Here's what people need to remember when it comes to me about Star Wars. Like, I didn't get into Star Wars until I was like 18 or 19. Like, I didn't watch the movies when I was a kid. So like when I moved away for film school for a couple of months, you know, like I was getting into a lot of movies that I had missed during my upbringing, and Star Wars was one of them.
Yeah.
And I really did enjoy the original trilogy, and the prequel just like there's just too much with those films that doesn't work for me. And then, you know, sequel wise, you know, like I enjoy a lot of the actors. I do a lot of some of the story. I'm not hardcore into Star Wars. So like some things that people may get upset with or that have been invested in the franchise for 20 plus years now may not actually mean anything to me. So like I may say, oh well, I enjoyed this or I enjoyed that, and so on.
Yeah. So this is a good question. I think they might do this. Will the Barry from the Flash show be on the new Flash movie? And if so, how do you think they'll use him? I think he'll be kind of used in the same way as he was on the show in terms of because I think they're going to run into each other again. I think. Or he'll know where to go to find him if he needs him or something, because they ran into each other on his Earth. I'm not really sure how that worked. I don't know. I was wrong again. It was episode 1 they revealed he can stand up. Really? Oh, my controller's all the way over there. I pulled my phone. Let me see.
I don't. It's been a while since I watched season 1, so
Let me see. Badass. Is it towards the beginning? I think it's probably towards the end of the episode, I'm guessing.
I can look for the chat a little bit in the meantime.
Pulling up the pilot. Let's see if they show it at the end.
What do you think of the Guardians of the Multiverse? I guess that's something from one of the episodes I missed.
Yeah, you haven't seen it yet.
That's
why I didn't click on it.
But I'm fine. Like I'm like, you know, it's my own fault that I haven't caught up yet. So by the way, to everyone who's thanks for all the birthday greetings, I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Look at this sly piece of crap. He's in the vault. He's just chilling in the vault, and then spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Yeah.
So it was the pilot.
It was the very end. And then I think it was like episode 3. You see a flashback of right when the particle accelerator explodes, and Wells goes into the vault and watches a security cam of Barry getting hit by lightning. He's like, "See you soon, Barry." He's like,
That's dope.
Yeah, you know, it's the good stuff.
Any thoughts on the new Airwort costumes compared to the old ones? That is a good question. I think some of them have evolved in the right direction. Like I feel that the Flash suit, the way that Grant has on these days, I think that for me, it is the best one, followed by the season 4 suit, and I think Oliver's like they went into a lot of good directions. Is what there too, where like it started getting a little more, you know, like brighter green, and then also, you know, we did the sleeveless thing, but then he just went back to a jacket, and I do think. Like, I think Steven's costume in season 8 was a huge and wonderful homage to like all the costumes that
I think it was a nice homage to like his first season one, you know?
Yeah, I can see that. And then
And it had the arrow in it too. That was so cool. That's why I got the jacket I do. My arrow
mm,
jacket is the Arrow season 8 jacket. I'm like, want that one.
let me think. Thank you so much. Supergirl. I mean, she's only had 2 costumes, and I think I do prefer the original one. But I get if it was cold for her to shoot in, then I would probably,
Yeah.
probably also want pants. And then
I've been asking for a costume change for Supergirl forever. Like I felt
yeah,
like I manifested it because I kept like bringing it up. Like she just doesn't fucking change. And Barry changed his suit. Oliver changed his suit several times, and she's like still in a skirt for 4 seasons. I don't think they'll reuse the bit from Crisis from his perspective. No, because the rumor was that Grant Gustin, after he finished shooting season 7, he went and shot for the Flash movie. So it's crazy because when you think back on season 1 of Flash, it is such a good season.
I think the only criticism I have against season 1 is I think that it was. I mean, it was truly epic, but I think they burned some of the things that they could have saved up for like a lot longer, throughout the others, coming seasons. Maybe they were worried, maybe this won't last more than a season or whatever. So, but
Probably what it was.
yeah,
Because you never know. I mean, season 1 of Arrow, they could have done a lot more, but they decided to just stick with the list and him not fighting too many Arrow-esque villains in a sense, in terms of iconic Arrow villains.
They stuck to Malcolm, and then
Yeah.
a few of the others too. I think that it's just, and the thing, I mean, and that's not to say that Flash hasn't been successful, because I mean, like, look, it's still been one of the most watched shows on the CW for 8 years. It's like,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? It could be this show that lasts longer than Arrow, like depending on what happens at season 8. And like, but also Flash is the one I think that brought, I think, more attention to the CW and also just the DC TV brand as a whole, because you have, I mean, look, Grant is his character is the only one who's ever engaged with anyone with the DCU.
Mhm.
And so but yeah, I think it's one of those things where I do think they were like, and that was like an original regime back then. I think they were just worried that, oh, maybe this won't last for,
Yeah.
maybe we won't get a season 2. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. But obviously things have changed as well. So we know also we had to go through this, global thing where, I think
Yeah.
certain things could have happened if we hadn't gone into a lockdown and so on.
I feel like they're gonna wait a while before they introduce Green Arrow in the movies. I feel.
See, I feel because of the Black Canary movie, I think that might change.
I just thought about that. They may do it there, or they may tease it for something.
I think Oliver. Well, we know Oliver is in the DCU at least, because like there was, back when BBS was coming out,
they had like that chart. Yeah.
Yeah, the chart and so Oliver is out there, and I think they're being wise to not use him yet. I think that, and also I think it could be very cool to see kind of like Oliver from like Dinah's perspective in her movie, kind of as like a smaller character. Where like, Oliver Queen had 8 years on Arrow, he had 4 or 5 seasons on Smallville, so now, like, what is the dynamic like from her perspective? What is it like, when you tell her from her angle? So
yeah. Connor says happy birthday, Andy.
Thank you, Connor Murphy.
Arrow season 1 is great. Yes, it is.
Love
yes,
it.
It is. I don't know if Grant stayed in Vancouver. He might have, but there was the rumor mill, if you will, was saying that he left to go shoot his scene, because apparently it's not a big moment. He's just in it for a little bit. Malky confirmed he's returning in No Way Home as Adrian. Did he confirm that?
He must have said it like on like Jimmy Fallon or something like that, because like
Probably.
Michael Keaton is just like, I don't care.
He's fucking Batman. He doesn't care. This is a good take. Iris should not have found out about Barry in season 1. That is a good point. But then again, I think it was who was it? I think, okay, I'm not going to say the name. It was the executive producer who shall not be named, a part of the Arrowverse shows. I remember he was doing an interview with Kevin Smith on his podcast back when they were talking about the Flash early seasons, and then talking about Arrow and leading up to Barry, because Kevin wanted to talk about the Flash. He didn't want to talk about Arrow. But he had to talk about Arrow because they were writing on Arrow, and then Greg Berlanti pitched that we're going to introduce Barry in season 2 while they're still writing season 1 of Arrow, and then he's going to wake up in his own show after he gets hit by lightning in season 2 of Arrow. So it was all planned out. But the thing is, though, is that he was saying, he who should not be named, was saying that you run into an issue where if you have a lot of people that don't know, you have to constantly write stuff to make it seem like, okay, they were somewhere else and they have to lie. And how many times can you do that until the audience goes, just stop? Because you're just making up just stupid excuses, and it's really tiring having to write around that. So I get it.
It's a boring trope where it's like it's always like the female lead, like or the romantic, the love interest in a superhero story,
especially for in general, especially for someone who's a lead, because like Caitlin, Cisco, Joe found out in the first episode, so they were establishing a lot of characters. But Iris was the one lead besides Eddie that didn't know, and Eddie found out, of course, later on. But they made it to where the majority of the characters already knew. On Arrow, at least, nobody knew at first, and then Diggle found out. And then Felicity, slowly, but it was like Flash. They introduced like over half of the leads already knew immediately what he could do. So they went a whole different direction. Onomatopoeia and Arrow, they could have pulled it off if they wanted to, but I feel like that was one they probably just went, nah. I don't know. No, Greg Berlanti, no, we can say his name all day. It's just an individual we don't want to say his name for reasons. And it's weird, too, because, Stephen Amell posted a photo with this individual in a photo. And then I was watching to see, I didn't realize this. Apparently, he's been doing some cons recently. And I always like to kind of listen to him from time to time just to kind of hear him respond to Arrow questions, because I kind of want to hear some behind the scenes stuff or just whatever, because I want to know more information about how they shot something or his favorite moments, because I kind of want to know from his perspective what he felt was the best moments or something he really liked doing, whatever that is. Well, it was weird because it was about a month ago. He was at a con and he was naming people, Greg Berlanti, Mark Guggenheim. And I'm like, oh, dude, why'd you say that name? Like, nobody wants to say that name anymore. Like, why would you say that name openly at a con? And I'm betting half the audience, or maybe even more than half, have no idea what happened to him, because it was kind of pushed under the rug, but everybody knew. But it was like a thing to where if you weren't on social media, you're not looking into this stuff, you wouldn't know that individual's gone. But like, why would he say that name? Like, especially, I even responded to it on Twitter saying, I don't think you should have posted this image. And then people were responding with the image, but they were cropping that person out. And it's like, I don't know. Would have been great for Iris to find out towards the end of season 2.
No. That's
maybe around Enter Zoom, which is episode 6 of season 2, where he literally almost kills Barry. Maybe at that point, maybe if you wanted to hold it off, because I went back and rewatched that sequence for a video a little bit ago, and he drugged Barry in front of the paper, and she was there losing her mind. Like, there's nothing she could do. Zoom was just holding him like he was like a rag doll. Maybe that would have been an interesting reveal. Not like to the public, but like her to find out after that. A Green Lantern spinoff show? We're getting a show on HBO Max.
Yeah, we're getting and there some movie is in the works with Hal and John, and then we will see what else comes out. And also you have Green Lantern on Stargirl. Probably something with Diggle, in 500 years when we're all dead.
By the time they actually get to Green Lantern stuff for him, he's gonna have gray in his hair, and he's just gonna be like, I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired to keep coming back to these shows. Like, just give me a guy. Just give me, because people were thinking his arc was gonna be starting like officially within his appearances.
Yeah.
And with the sporadic releases, they had no idea when these episodes were going to air. So they're like, fuck it.
I think it'll be easier now that things have kind of gotten easier with production, and like the safety guidelines have also probably changed too, where like they can like make sure that if things are still happening and filming is still going on, or like maybe when one person gets tested positive, they don't necessarily have to shut down everything for the whole for like a whole week or so. Maybe that person just gets like isolated somewhere or whatever.
Yeah. Why did you say that name, first of all? Funny. Why did you say that name? Stephen Amell, of course, was very aware. Everybody was aware who worked in the Arrowverse stuff, what went down. Okay, this guy worked on Arrow, Flash, Supergirl, and that was it. So
Yeah.
yes, of course he knows. There's no way he couldn't know.
Yeah.
He was a lead on the show that was created by this individual or co-created. So yeah, he knows. He should know better not to say that name. He should know better not to post a photo commemorating Arrow with a picture with him in it. Like, he should know not to post that. He should have found another photo, maybe another cast photo, maybe even like a season 1 photo of like a promo photo shoot for Arrow to kind of, because he was like posting about Arrow.
I think he didn't
like,
think of it. I think he kind of like just, it's been several, a few years that maybe like he's been kind of like removed now from the Arrowverse for a few years. So
yeah,
I think like he just didn't think much to it. So like I could see that it was like an honest mistake, but like
yeah. But the fact that he posted a photo, and then on top of that, he said his name at a con in front of an audience, and it's like he was talking about him in a positive light about working on the show and stuff. Like, okay, I get the whole idea of separating the work from the individual because their work is something different than their personal life. But their personal life in this situation was in the work process, because that's what happened in the workplace, was why everything went down, because of what he did in the workplace. So that's kind of like, it's like one of those things to where you can't say,
we don't say his name on like any of the like any of the podcasts that we produce on DZ podcast, because like we don't want to give him attention. So, and if it happens, it's a slip up. But I think we should move on. We don't have to talk about his individual anymore. So,
well, let's about this one then. So, have you guys seen Heels? We actually talked about this a couple of days ago on PS5.
Yeah.
We were talking for like over an hour about different shit, and Heels was brought up, and I haven't seen it.
Doesn't look interesting to me though.
I'm a huge Stephen Amell fan, but the thing is, it's on Stars. No one watches Stars, as far as I know. I don't hear Stars ever talked about ever. And
I only heard about it when Spartacus was still on, and then I know Torchwood season 4 was on, but that's it.
And then now Heels, because they've been promoting Heels, like, because they're trying to tell everybody, go watch Heels, because they're trying to promote it like crazy, because they're desperate to get views. And I found it desperate when they uploaded the first episode to YouTube for free, because they were trying to get people to watch it. I'm like, but I really have no interest in watching it. But him and his wife were at a con, and they're telling people to please watch it. They wanted to do a season 2. So if they get a season 2, awesome. That's great. Hey, he's getting work, but I think it'll be fine. I watch Stars. Well, the thing is, Triple X, like I don't hear anybody really talk about Stars. I have people talking about Disney Plus, HBO Max, Netflix, Hulu. I don't hear anybody talking about Stars.
Yeah, like cable networks are just not as like big in that regard. Like, I mean, I don't like, if you say FX, people probably think of American Horror Story, or Atlanta. If you say Sci-Fi, it's a network that just keeps canceling a lot of good shows like Krypton and
FX. All that stuff's on Hulu. Like, you just go to Hulu, it's there. And FX is even making stuff exclusively for Hulu. So, like you're saying, like big network stuff, like unless you're like ABC, NBC, FX, CBS. People don't really know about you. HBO's lucky because HBO's been around for so long, and of course they've had big shows like Sopranos, Game of Thrones. So they've been around and they've made establishment. And of course, now with the combined Warner Brothers media, it made it even bigger for HBO Max to be a thing. So a lot of people watch Stars. It's a really popular app power. This show is big. I don't think it's a lot of people watching Stars. I could be wrong. I don't think it is, though. Like,
did we offend someone?
Apparently so.
Yeah, like listen, if you're watching Stars and you're watching shows on there, good for you. And stuff. Like, but I'm
just like when people are like, me and he's more in tune with this stuff because he's actually a writer for Screen Rant. He knows what's going on. Just based on what I'm seeing out on people talking on social media, I have never heard of Stars. Until Heels was announced. Until then, I don't remember ever hearing about Stars getting anything significant.
I heard more about Spartacus than I did anything else. So
and that was a long time ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's almost been 5-6 years now. So
Radical Z, I'm so excited for House of the Dragon. I feel like Game of Thrones is building a cinematic universe, apparently, since there was an interview about the 10,000 Ships spinoff in an animated one. Well, there is more shows in development for Game of Thrones spinoffs. I would consider House of the Dragon a spinoff because it's not a spinoff because it's set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones. So, yeah, I wouldn't say it's a spinoff, but I would say if you're saying like in the world of Game of Thrones, that's a better way to say it because it's in the world of Game of Thrones. I forgot to mention. So yes,
Love his podcast.
yeah, his most recent one was Steven was really good. The one he did, actually, Steven did a while back, where he actually had to leave it halfway through because he was having a panic attack, was very opening. Like he was very open and honest in that one. But I like listening to his. Like I listened to his Kevin Conroy one, and I think I also listened to what was it? I even listened to the Neil McDonough Damien Dark one because I wanted to hear his whole thing about why he plays villains because he's really good at playing a villain and everything. The marketing is a little off calling it a spinoff. Yeah, it's not a spinoff. Let's see. Rosemob just did a podcast of Ming No Wen. Yeah, I saw that.
Started watching it, and like they're so adorable together.
That's awesome. I'm excited for when he actually gets people in versus like because the Zoom stuff. There's a certain level where I'm like, do I want like because like the Zoom stuff? I feel like there's like a disconnect there a little bit because they're not in the same room chatting. But I get it. A lot of these actors they're not available to travel or they don't want to be in person. Because like even though like talk shows now are getting more guests in now, like more high caliber guests, because they're finding ways to bring them in and keep people safe as much as they can. It's like a lot of people are still being very cautious, and I understand that. But eventually, we have to kind of get past this, not in the sense of like ignore everything and just live your life, but like we got to get back to some sort of normalcy. I mean, look at the box office. Venom: Let There Be Carnage crushed it in the box office. And then seeing Shang-Chi Legend of the Ten Rings did amazing in the box office. So movies starting to come back. Slowly things are going to have to start going back to some sort of normalcy. Obviously with protecting people, but
yeah.
If there was
sorry, go on.
Oh, no, it's okay. I was just seeing what's on here. Let's see. Yeah, that would be a spinoff. Yeah, Ming No Wen has not aged in 20 years. That is a good point.
Yep. I don't know what she has magic, and but she's amazing, bro.
She's at that Lazarus pit. It is Andy. Andy is here because people keep saying manifesting. Come on, Andy, get in here, and you're not even online. You're like, the throne is more accurate.
Has that really happened?
Yes. So. The past number of live streams, I remember there's been, I think it's been a couple people, but I remember one person particularly would go, bring in Andy. And I'm thinking, he's not here. He's not here. Suicide Squad did not make money. No, it didn't. No. Oh, well. But the Thrones Market book accurate. Yes, it is. It looks very nice. Let's see. What do you think of Greg Berlanti writes female characters?
See, here's the thing. He's not really okay. I don't know exactly what the inside out are with his role because I mean he's like these days he's more like like just an executive producer. I think he was more involved with like the writing maybe in season 1 and 2 of both Arrow and The Flash. Yeah. But like I think like he kind of like oversees what's going on. So when but he appoints his showrunner, he appoints his writers that they have, and I think so. I mean, I think it would be. I mean, I've seen other things that he's done, like Love, Simon. I think he wrote, I think he wrote and directed that. So like, no, I don't doubt that he's bad at writing female, but I think it's just that he's just so busy with producing so many shows these days. I don't think he has time.
He's so involved. They love the Titans podcast, Andy.
Oh, thank you. Go let Corey and Laura know. I think they would love to hear that. We put out a new episode today. We're just we will put out Doom Patrol podcast episode 5 and 6 together next week because this week was just chaotic for all of us. So
yeah,
but thank you.
The world never go back to normal. This new normal. It might be the new normal.
Well, I mean, not to be a PSA machine, but it's like get vaccinated if you haven't. Wear your masks. Follow your the regulations that are out there, and together we can at some point get closer to normal. But like if people are still like fighting, like I don't want to get vaccinated, I don't want to wear masks on, then this thing is gonna still spread and it's gonna mutate and it's gonna get more messed up. So just
Yeah. I think you're pretty correct on that. I think Batman is a safe bet in terms of box office. I think Black Adam is going to make some money. I think Shazam, because Shazam was so well loved by people in terms of most people. I think Shazam was a big hit for Warner Brothers. Like they were quite surprised, and I think audience was surprised as well. So I feel like Fury of the Gods, even though it's not coming out till 2023, which is bullshit, is going to do good. I mean, Wonder Woman 84, like badass points out below you, but it's kind of weird. Yeah. I think too, Wonder Woman 84, not 89, was put out in 2020, and it was on HBO Max same day and date. Warner Brothers basically shot themselves in the foot putting out all their movies same day and date in theaters as on HBO Max because the movies can't make the money. I mean, Godzilla vs. Kong was the first inclination of box office because it did pretty good when it was on HBO Max as well, but that was like opening weekend. Mortal Kombat didn't do that well. They thought it was going to do better than it did. I'm curious to see what Dune does because Dune is coming out actually on my birthday. Which is awesome.
That's awesome.
But it's gonna be on HBO Max same day and date. So I wonder if Dune's doing pretty good overseas because HBO Max is not available in some of those countries. But I'm wondering how it's gonna do here because are people actually gonna go out and see Dune in the theaters, or are they gonna go see it on HBO Max in the comfort of their own home?
Yeah, I know this month in Europe they're launching HBO Max a lot during a lot like you know like the Nordic countries are getting it. They're going to replacing like HBO Nordic with Max, which I think is great. More synergy. So what do you think the main reason Suicide Squad bombed?
There's no main reason. I think it's several reasons. First of all, the first movie made money. Suicide Squad 2016. But a lot of people didn't like it. So that was against it. Number two, the marketing was kind of odd. I think some of the trailers, like most of the trailers were like okay, but the movie is so much better, but they just didn't market it well. At least I don't think so. And that kind of hurt it. Plus, same day and days, HBO Max. So they said the HBO Max numbers was pretty big. But if they didn't have HBO Max release, it would have done better in theaters because people didn't have that option to watch on HBO Max. They would go see it in theaters. And it's R-rated, you know. Suicide Squad, the first one was PG-13. That's why, because a lot of kids and teens that wanted to see Harley and Joker went to go see it in theaters. They can't, like, unless their parent takes them. Like, movie theaters are getting more strict on kids getting tickets for R-rated films. Like, you can't just go. You can't, as like a 14, 13-year-old kid without proper ID, you can't go get an R-rated ticket. You just can't. So, it is what it is, you know. But there's several reasons. The movie should have done better, but that's just because HBO, like Warner Brothers, shot themselves in the foot. They shouldn't have done this same day and date for the whole year. It's stupid because now they're probably hating themselves for this because a lot of the films are not doing that well. So it is what it is. Happy birthday!
Thank you, Amazing Webpad. You are good use of amazing there.
I like it. I like his username. It's always cool.
I like it. I like it too. Thank you.
There could be a strike. Yep. There's a possibility. I don't know.
I mean, do you remember the writer strike in 2007?
It screwed a lot of things up. Yeah. I mean,
Scrubs got affected.
Scrubs got affected. I know because Scrubs had like 11 episodes.
Insane. And then Heroes, you know, I mean, I didn't watch Heroes when it was airing, but like, I remember like when they went into if it was season 2 or 3, but I'm like, this does not make sense at all. The jump once they came back from the strike. So yeah, it was weird. But hopefully, listen, the people who work hard on these shows and films, and people who work on set, I mean, like. Some people don't know how many people are involved with making, you know, like just one episode of television, and it's important that, you know, they're treated with respect and they're treated right and they're being paid their dues and so on. So that's my opinion about it.
I really enjoyed Venom, and my folks and friends as well. My theater is packed, so it shows theaters. Yeah, I was saying that earlier. Amazing Webhead, that theaters. My Venom, Let There Be Carnage for me was pretty packed. Pretty packed. I was quite surprised. It was success in terms of if you looked at past releases of films in theaters at that point, they weren't doing that well, and that did pretty solid during a pandemic in terms of what they were expecting. So,
I actually don't know how much it did. Let me check.
oh,
Um,
I
oh,
think it
it
actually it
did
did
pretty
roughly
good.
this. It did roughly the same as Godzilla King of the Monsters during a non-pandemic. And at that time, if you look at previous films that came out before it,
Let's see.
like they weren't doing that well.
$467.8 million against a 155 to $200 million budget. Godzilla King of the Monsters made 386. Yeah, okay, so yeah, so Godzilla, yeah, versus Kong, it made better.
Yeah. And the thing
Definitely.
is too, that what was I gonna say? Oh, the fact is too, HBO Max also saw a raise in subscribers during that time, and they released the numbers. I think the numbers were pretty solid for Godzilla vs Kong on HBO Max. The thing is, like they're seeing all of this as a win because they're getting more people subscribing at HBO Max. Because people are because I think too, there's not a lot of people before this move to drop all these new films on HBO Max same day and date for 30 days for free if you pay a monthly subscription. But like a lot of people were not aware of HBO Max because they went from HBO to HBO Max. It wasn't like they created a whole brand new service that could really establish a new name. They just rebranded HBO. So there's a lot of people that probably didn't realize that. Because at one point I had HBO. It was HBO Now, which was like their
HBO Go as well.
HBO Go was their if you paid for the HBO on your cable, and then Go was the app version of it. But HBO
I'm
Now,
confused already.
I know. Well, so if you paid for HBO on your cable bill, HBO Go was like on the go. You could watch your HBO if you're paying for it on your cable service. HBO Now was a separate thing like Netflix where you just pay a monthly subscription and you got HBO. So it's kind of a weird thing where they had two different services. Well, they just rebranded HBO Now into HBO Max. They just rebranded the traditional, just pay them $15 or whatever per month, and then you get access to all this stuff plus Warner Media content. So this move was to really help boost the numbers. And the thing is that Disney Plus doesn't have like did it a little bit, but you pay 30 extra dollars. That premium service is stupid. But Disney Plus is over 100 million subscribers because they've been marketing a lot better in terms of their content. And now the Marvel shows are dropping. Mandalorian was a huge success. Disney Plus is doing big. So HBO is trying to catch up. Warner's trying to catch up, and streaming is the future. It is. Yeah. I think it's already the future. It's the present. Streaming is the way to go. Let's see. Are you interested at all in the Chucky series? Or no?
No, not really. Not to be that guy, but I'm just not. I'm sorry.
I hear you. No, I'm not really that interested. I thought the trailer was interesting, but I've never been like a Chucky like big fan. Like I've always been more of a fan of Michael Myers. That's why I'm excited for the Halloween Kills and stuff. But Chucky, I don't know. Let's see. 2020 HBO Max won't be the same as 2020. They will have a theatrical window. Yeah, they've already confirmed it's just for 2021. So it's fine.
I found about HBO Max from Cygnus Justice League. There you go.
There you go.
The global phenomenon, as they said recently in an event.
Oh yeah, DC Universe.
Okay, can I bitch about that for a second? Because
Go for it.
I have feelings about this where it's like I was so
I have feelings.
listen, y'all, I got the feels about this. So here's the thing. I was so excited for HBO Max for DC Universe. I felt like it's a brilliant thing. By only making it available in America and like also having these issues with their that brought the rights to certain things. It's like there's no reason why Smallville should have been on these universe. Smallville should have been there as like in all these other shows, but instead like they had to like literally fight and like get some of these rights back, and it's embarrassing. And that they only had it available in one country. It's like if they had made it global, like listen, like there would have been so much good things to come out. And I think, but also I think that if they were planning a Warner Bros. Streaming service anyway, I think it was for the, like they could have waited with DC Universe, and they could have skipped DC Universe, done HBO Max, or they could. I still think that what DC Universe should have been is an add-on to HBO Max, where
Yeah.
like imagine like how many kids are gonna be watching some of these shows. Like, God, I already feel old, but like if they don't know anything about like what the hell is Green Lantern, like when they watch a TV show. Well, here's an add-on on HBO Max that you can read various comics. So yeah, and like
That would have been ideal. Yeah.
yeah, and I get like why like they couldn't have the Arrowverse shows on DC. I don't know why Smallville couldn't because they were on Hulu, which I'm like, Warner's, are you just trying to shoot yourself in the foot now by by giving it to a competing streaming service? But yeah, everyone. I know it was on Hulu. I know it was on Hulu, but I'm saying it's stupid. I'm saying it's stupid that it wasn't on DC Universe.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I was excited. I'll say there you go. Say what exactly what I'm talking about. Like
Another issue.
Yeah.
Because I remember having to like tell people back when DC Universe was announced and Titans was coming. How can I watch Titans like legally? Like, do I have to download it? I'm like, no. Like, they'll like. I kept telling me, oh, DC Universe, they're gonna put it out in other countries. No, they didn't. So they had that contract with Netflix International. So international Netflix got Titans, but if you were US, you couldn't watch it on Netflix. So that was a little ridiculous. Let's see. Oh, you're probably right. I don't know. I don't know.
That's one secret I will never tell. XOXO, Gossip Girl.
Shang-Chi benefited being only in theaters. If it was on Disney Plus, it would have hurt it. This is a good point because a lot of stuff was missing on DC Universe when they launched it. And the thing is too, like now HBO Max pretty much has everything, like pretty much everything in terms of their DC content.
Almost everything.
But I remember it was like a big announcement, like, "Oh, we just got this show on DC Universe." Like, "Oh, you should have had it at the fucking beginning."
Yeah,
just saying.
I remember when before DC Universe came out, like during Comic-Con of that year, I was invited to some sort of press activation for DC Universe, and I remember, I went there and I was feeling like something just felt off while I was there. I'm like, I don't think they have things. I don't think they thought things through here. There's something very off here. But I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. But DC Universe Infinite now is a thing. Great. More props to people who love it. But yeah, and I'm just happy HBO Max is coming out globally. Or starting to come out more globally. Figure Real T.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's been a fan for years. He's a great guy. He's really cool. But yeah, I mean, just the whole situation, they could have planned that out better. Do you think we'll get the same levels of evidence? Yes, I do believe so. I think they've learned from their mistakes. You see Shang-Chi? You should go see it. DC Universe didn't really crash for me much, but then again, I heard about when they launched the first 3 episodes of season 3 of Young Justice, the site crashed because everyone was trying to watch it at the same time. That was shit. Like they put I think it was they were the first place to have the HD of Batman the Animated Series.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I just wish that they would have had more things thought out by then. Because I think I even asked a representative at I don't know if if they were working directly or they were just hired for the press event, but they seem to know what there are a lot of rights we're trying to get back, and so.
Probably wasn't easy either. Yeah.
It was not easy.
No. Thank you, Scott, for the super chat. Hello, my friends. Hello, sir.
Scott.
What heroes are you most excited to see team up with Flash and Armageddon? Mine are Black Lightning, Mia Queen, Alex Danvers, and Batwoman. Good choices. For me personally, I'm most excited to see him team up with Black Lightning because I feel like their relationship is something that I'm really excited to see more of because they set it up a little bit in Crisis. They're like, oh yeah, the two the Lightning Bros. And then the little interaction in Crisis Part 5 when they're in the hall. Are they going to use that set again? They should.
Bitch, if they don't, I will scream. Listen,
They,
I have been saying for years that Barry, boy, you need to clean up that hall. You need to
yeah,
you need to get some good floor work. You need
yeah,
to get some good wallpaper in there. But also security. I mean, although security in the Airverse is like, haha, like
yeah,
it's like a fairy godmother.
yeah.
And so yeah, I am all here for
I hope so,
Flash and Lightning together
because
because
a good number of those characters, well, not all of them, but a decent amount is going to be in the crossover. So why not use that as a home base? Oh,
But I'm also very excited for Ryan Wilder to get to meet everyone
oh
because I
yeah,
think Javisha is incredible. I think she has done wonders with Ryan Wilder and what with this Batwoman situation that Ruby Rose left him in, and we don't miss her. Never want to see Ruby Rose again. Bye Felicia.
we have
I
we have
don't know this woman. I don't know this woman. She could be walking down the street and I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry
we
to this woman.
we have a better Kate with Wallace Day. We got a better
Honestly,
Kate.
I don't even need Kate anymore. I just I'm happy with Ryan. I think
We
she.
do. We do. We do. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
But
We
yeah.
do. We do because it's Kate Kane, motherfucker. It's Kate Kane. I-
She ain't no Ryan Wilder,
do
motherfucker.
you want to get shot on your birthday?
I mean, I've lived 28 great years, so whatever.
Wait,
But it's gonna be great to see.
you turn 28?
Yeah, not good. Everyone knows how old I am. So
No, because I'm the same age right now as well. I'm
are we
older
both?
I'm older than you. I'm turning
Okay.
29 this year. I think. Am I
Oh
turning
my
29?
Check your ID.
Age. I was born in 1992.
But I'm excited to see these characters come back. I'm so happy for Ryan Choi. I think we all know why. We don't have to say why, but I think we're all excited for him to be back.
Yes.
And
Yes. It's about damn time. And I'm gonna try to interview him again after Armageddon airs. I want to talk to him again. I want to. Oh yeah, I hope Barry and Mia do bond over Oliver. I hope so. I hope.
Yeah.
Let's see. Also, last seeing CW set up their next iconic friendship beat between Batwoman and Supergirl. Yeah. And it's funny because now it's like Kate's gone. Well, that version of Kate, and then now we have a new Kate, and now she's gone, and then now Supergirl's ending. So it's like just can't fucking
I
work.
think honestly, like Jefferson and Barry is like what I could see.
I hope.
Or at some point Clark and Barry as well.
Yeah.
It's because I know like Grant is such a huge like Superman nerd. It's just so adorable that I'm like, listen, give him all the Superman material because I think he'll be.
I kind of hope that Superman's in it and they just not announcing it. It's a surprise. I hope, because I know Grant would love that if they could have Tyler Hoechlin on with his new suit, and it's just like, oh, this is fantastic. Especially after how good his show was this past year, it would be great. It'd be great. I don't know. I thought it was cool how DC Universe incorporated in the comics. Yeah, that was a cool thing because. Like that was something they didn't have to have, but it was good for the money. So, you think we'll get an event in 2022 with White Canary, Superman, and Stargirl? Who knows?
That's oddly specific. I don't think with Legends because I think Legends is only going to have 13 episodes this year, so I think they will be done somewhere like by January, February, and I think Superman Lois is going to come back after that.
Yeah, so, Scott's always trying to push Stargirl to pop up on the Flash, it's awesome.
Scott, brother, you're speaking my language. I want Stargirl on the Flash too.
Yes.
I get you. Listen, you're heard, you're seen, and you're recognized, and I respect you. And I want Stargirl on the Flash as well. So I'm with you. Like, don't listen to this hate. I'm kidding.
Don't listen to this hater. Flash Man's friendship would be amazing. Imagine them broing out and have the iconic race. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, that's okay. I'm not saying they have to do this. I'm going to manifest this into Armageddon. At the end of Armageddon, Flash Superman will race at the end, and they'll make up for the horrible Justice League theatrical cut. That was a horrible race. We're going to make it. We're going to make it right again. Because this is interesting that she said that this is being said, even though I know they're filming Legends right now. Katie Lotz is there. Katie Lotz was hanging out with Candace Patton. Not saying that she's on the Flash set, but it would be nice because I feel like they announced certain characters and they're omitting certain characters, because Eric Wallace made it very clear in his statement, along with who they were announcing, who was a part of the crossover, that there's gonna be some surprises and things fans are not expecting, which implies, I think, other characters or other moments we're not prepared for. That's what I think. I don't think it is.
Mm-mm.
No, it's still going.
I think a phase of the Arrowverse is
Yeah.
wrapping up, but that means that a new chapter begins. Oh, thank you, Lloyd. Thank you so much.
Yes. Who knows? But I'm enjoying Superman Lois being its own thing. Well, it's not its own thing. It is part of the Arrowverse. Sorry.
Yeah,
It is.
I mean, I think I think I get what they mean in terms of like it is in the Arrow, but at least like it's not dependent on like doing reference all the time. So I think that's gonna change in season 2.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping to see those crossovers at some point. Would be cool to see a whole crossover episode about the Superman and Flash race that is like the Kid Flash Young Justice Heart transplant episode. Oh my, boy, how dare you,
I had to click on it.
Listen, that episode, I cry so much from that. It was like, Wally, you better get your ass over there now and get that heart. Like Vandal Savage, you're being hella extra right now. You need to get the fuck out. And because I don't have time. None of us have time for that. So yeah, that's wow, what a great pitch, heartbreaking pitch.
Yeah, Sarah was a great character for Legends.
Not for me. I think she became incredible once she got to Legends.
Of course not. Of course not. You're all about that Laurel, not about that Sarah.
No, it's not just. Listen. I don't pit women against each other. I can love multiple.
I know what you do behind closed doors.
What is the number like for 19? Like, is that a reference to something?
Oh, it's probably the number of women you put against each other because you don't like them.
Oh my god. I'm sure they will mention
I hope
her.
so. Who's Ryan Troy? You mean Ryan Choi, not Ryan Troy?
I don't think so. I think that it's would it be once. I think no triple X. I got you. I know. I hate this. Oh my god, Shane, be nice. Be nice. I don't think they can really afford. Like if they're gonna do Ryan Troy as you know who, I don't like. I think they're not gonna have. I don't think they will afford that. They can't afford that. I honestly think that that's one of the reasons they got rid of Ray. I mean, we know there is more to that story, but I
yeah.
I think also like, if you're noticing, there's not so much superpowers anymore in Legend, and there's not really a lot of like costumes and so on. They're kind of just like doing their weird little thing.
Yeah. How do you think Mia's brought in? Good question. I'm curious. And here's my question too. Why the fuck did Barry leave Dinah and Laurel in 2040? You shit dick.
But how do we know that he's the one who picks her up?
That's a good point, but who else would fucking do it? Did Wally do it? Did he come back for 1 second to bring Mia back only? Wally just shows up for 1 second, just brings Mia back for no reason. He just walks in, here's Mia, and he leaves. And Mia's like, I was in the middle of dinner.
It was a really nice grilled cheese, for God's sake.
Guys, I don't want to. Okay, I don't want to spoil it for you. This has all been bullshit. The real villain of the crossover Armageddon is God Digglespeed. I didn't want to tell you, but I saw David Ramsey. He's on set. He's wearing Diggle's dumb helmet from season 4. He has a Godspeed suit. He's mowing down everybody. And I don't want to tell you this, guys, too, but every character that's been announced that's a part of the crossover event that we've heard, like Alex and Mia and Ryan and all of that, he kills them all in like 2 seconds. He just like all of them. And Reverse Flash, Damien Dark, high five in the background. So there's no 5 episodes. It's just 1 episode, and it's like 30 seconds long, and the rest of it's just dead space air. And all the shows are over. So I didn't want to tell you. I know Andy didn't want to take it. He didn't want to spoil it for you, but I read the scripts. I know what's happening.
Yes. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
I don't know where to go for that. Who doesn't want a Donna Smoke spinoff? Dude, I watched. I was. I was like, he's fucking gone, guys. He is gone. He's fucking gone. This is great. How you doing, everybody? Hello. He's fucking gone. He fucking left. I was gonna tell you, I was skimming through Arrow today, season 3. I came across the Donna Smoke walking in. Scream when she first gets introduced, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is the beginning of the end." It's fucking funny. I like how you were gone for longer than I thought you were. Like, you were gone for so long. I'm like, he's gonna come back in like 2 seconds. No, you were gone for several seconds. Like, I am not coming back right away. There's 2 more episodes of Titans. I think there's 2. Yes.
Yeah,
2.
next week is the penultimate one, and then.
Do we have our little things yet or no? Do we? Hold on. Checking my Gmail.
I'm not saying anything. I will read comments. Will we see Mia as Green Arrow? Asked Scott Edwards. I'm guessing we will. Badass 9000 says, I think Sarah's death in season 3 ended up being so pointless because they brought her back next season. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, again, Arrow really dealt with this big issue in season 3 and 4 where like, they had no stakes. All these ridiculous things could happen, but yet Laurel could get killed, but like, we can bring back everyone else from the dead, but like can't bring her back. And then Damien Dark, like I feel that that's why I think season 5 Arrow like really had to course correct so much.
Not yet. Damn it. I checked.
Let's see. Henry the Doormat says, I've recently started watching Titans and I'm almost done with season 2. And has season 3 been good so far without any spoilers?
Yes.
It's an improvement. I do think that there are a lot of issues. I do think that the show needs to move away from its Batman obsession.
Especially after this week's. I don't want to get into why, but just some of the things they were like, especially some of the things that a certain individual was saying. I'm like, oh my god, like this is a Batman episode, a Batman show. Like it's Titans featuring Batman or Batman-esque things.
I still need to watch Titans episode 7 and Sorrow episodes 8 and 9. You're gonna have a good time, Radical Z, with 8 and 9. Gary Green spin-off coming on HBO Max confirmed.
We will always talk about Laurel.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for liking the video, Spectacular. I on a whim, I just started watching it and people are loving it. It's awesome. Do you think Sarah will still be around in the Arrowverse for a while? Yes. I don't think Katie Lotz is going to go anywhere.
I don't know. I think that both Legends and Flash, like they're kind of. I think they're kind of getting close to the end. Like I think maybe they have like 1 season left in both of them, maybe. But or just for me, let's see. I know
he wants to be specific.
I know I already asked you about this question, but Andy, is there any specific crossover you want to see in the Arrowverse? The number 1 crossover I've been waiting for years is Crime Syndicate, because I feel that it is so obvious to do it. Like it would be so perfect. And now that we have Superman, we have still Barry around, we have, even though we probably wouldn't see Earth Prime's Batman, we could theoretically see Owlman with Warren Christie. That could be fun.
Oh,
and that's also, I would rather see Crime. I would have rather seen Crime Syndicate than the Earth X characters. And I know Jane and I were never going to agree on this. That's perfectly fine. But that's Crime Syndicate is what I really want to see. I also want to see Blackest Night, but I think they have to earn it. And then you know, if they could bring back everyone, like kind of like like so many of the massive players, I think Final Crisis could be interesting. But Crime Syndicate, like if I can only have one more big crossovers, I would want Crime Syndicate.
That would be good. If this was true, they wouldn't have brought her back as Earth 2 Laurel. Just saying. If this was truly the case, then they would not have brought her back for Earth 2 Laurel. They wouldn't have done all that stuff because they could have easily had Earth 2 Laurel, Black Siren on The Flash season 2. They knock her out. We never see her again. What they do, they bring her back in season 5. They have her re-up as a series regular for season 6 through 8. So
you know what DC stands for in that context? Damage control. And I'm not saying anything more other than that.
That'd be interesting. Oh, he doesn't want Oliver as Owlman. He doesn't want Oliver as Owlman. I like how you put that Julian as like, what if? And then he's like, fuck you. The birthday boy's mad. The birthday boy's upset. I don't think that's Scott. Where'd you read that at? Scott, I need to know because I don't believe that's true at all.
Enough of this bullshit.
He's done with all the bullshit, guys. All the bullshit. I don't think she's hinting at any stuff. Is she?
What did she say?
That's what I want to know. What the fuck? Because if you're talking about her interview with Jimmy Kimmel, she didn't say anything on Jimmy Kimmel that hinted at this shit.
She was on Jimmy Kimmel?
Yes, yesterday. Yeah.
Can someone just recap because I don't want to have to watch it? I mean, not because of her.
Well, essentially, she was just talking about she wasn't saying for sure that she wasn't confirming or denying that she took a suit home and all that shit, and they're wrapping up, and she's going to miss people. She's not going to miss flying that much because it hurts, and it's just a pain to shoot the flying scenes.
Yeah.
Nothing was, from that interview, nothing was hinted at about her continuing with the character. So.
Triple X.
Awesome.
And
awesome.
do you agree with what, Triple X?
I don't know. She's not.
Do I play the DC games? I don't play. I mean, I do every once in a while play DC Universe Online. I did because I started streaming now on my YouTube channel. If you all want to give me a birthday gift, go subscribe to my channel.
Go subscribe to Andy. Go subscribe to Andy on his channel.
I can't post in the comments, or I guess I can if I go to the other tab. But yeah, like I do stream now and so on, and DC Universe is one of the thing I want to stream live, probably with Shane, and I did actually just recently repurchase all the Batman Arkham games, not Origins because fuck that. So I'm kind of like, for me, because I'm no gamer. So like for me, like when I stream, I'm just reliving the games that I used to play. So you know, if you guys want to come and tune in and watch and so on, that would be great. Help me raise my Twitch channel at the same time. So I'm just shamelessly plugging because I'm like, I'm 28. This year has been traumatic.
Go for it.
And
oh, Scott, we're not mocking you. I'm just saying I don't think she's going to be coming back. And if she does, it won't be for a long time. And the fact is they already have a new Supergirl in the Flash movie. They're going to be doing a supposed movie with her, which you debunked. It's not a series. I think it's a movie for HBO Max. And they're moving ahead with another Supergirl. I just don't see them bringing Melissa back. I mean, the only thing I can see them doing is maybe if the Superman Lois lasts, let's say Superman Lois lasts for 4 or 5 seasons, hypothetically. I could see Supergirl showing up in the last season of the show for some big event. Because remember, Superman showed up on her show early on and was helping her out and stuff. So why not Supergirl returning to help him? But it all depends on what happens at the end of the show. I don't think they kill her. I don't think she dies. I personally think, because we know who comes back in the finale from the future, I'm just saying she's going to travel into the future and be with that individual, which would imply she's gone. She's not going to come back. But I don't know. I love how he's thinking. What are you thinking about, sir?
I'm not saying anything. Do
you know shit that you're not supposed to say? Is that what you're saying?
100% the Arkham games, Andy. I dare you. What? I thought I legit was gushing about the Arkham games. So like I don't know like why you're like daring me. Like I'm not gonna dare to play Origins because I just visually do not like Arkham Origins, and I think it also doesn't line up perfectly with the Arkhamverse that we come to know. And nothing against Warner Brothers game in Montreal. I didn't need Arkham Origins. Like really, I did. Like I'd rather them taking more time on Arkham Knight. What else do we have? I'm excited to see the new Chosen Waiter owner. That's a good name. I'm excited for the new crossover for Flash Season 8. I am too.
I don't know.
I think you should. I really think you should. I think that you should catch up with Season 2, finish it, and I think you would really enjoy it.
I just gotta find the time because I got a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
I still got 3 more episodes of Squid Game to film. I got 6 music reactions to do starting tomorrow. I got Spectacular Spider-Man, Wolverine, the X-Men to film. Jesus.
Oh, you want me to get all the Arkham trophies, Julian? I mean,
oh my god.
People would have to, like, if I get at least like 20 people watching every stream I do when I try to collect all of them, then I will do it.
Yeah.
I gotta raise the bar a little bit.
Guys, I think we're gonna end this stream. I think at 1:30. We're at 1:25 right now. We might go a little bit past that, but we don't want to be on here forever because we've been on here since like 9:15 ish. We have lives outside of this, people. Am I ever gonna finish Supergirl? Probably not. Probably not, unfortunately. Not like in terms of the airing of it, but I have so much other stuff I'm doing. It's unfortunate. I really wish I could. I don't have. If I didn't have a full-time job, I'd have a lot more time to do this crap, but I don't. It's unfortunate. I'm excited for Alex to team up on Team Flash. I'm excited for Alex to show up on Flash because what I thought was interesting, and I thought about this too. Early on in the Arrow and Flash days, they would cross over like Felicity would go to Flash, or Diggle would show up on Flash, like stuff like that. So it's like they don't do that a lot now. I mean, even before the pandemic, they didn't have a lot of people just showing up all the time. So it's interesting to kind of see a Supergirl, and even though they were on Earth 38, they couldn't do that, but now they can, even though the show's ending. Get my point. It's interesting that they can do this now. Maybe. Murmur. After the ISA in Calypso, who do you think the JSA could face season 3?
Oh, I'm not good with JSA, but I don't like what let me see who they actually take on. There is the Injustice. We could do the Injustice Society. No, that's what they literally have done. Never mind. I thought it was Injustice League for some reason they were facing, but I'm like, nope, that's not it. Maybe the Secret Society of Supervillains. I don't know.
Secret Society.
Yeah, all the villains. They had to do a homecoming thing where it's like every villain group has to have home society in it. I don't. I mean, I don't know like who. What
Yes.
what if the Starman is the kind of the villain of season 3?
It's probably it, or it's probably going to be. Well, the thing is to like see they kind of surprised us because they were implying the Shade was going to be the villain, or at least a villain in season 2 of Stargirl, and
I really like the twist they took with that.
Yeah, it was nice,
and that he's like kind of more like an anti-hero that he is not necessarily like he didn't want to be with the ISA even. So I do think Icicle Jr. will be a villain. I think there's just too many stepping points now to Royal Flush Gang would be, and also I mean because we have seen, I know Courtney's biological father has some ties to Royal Flush Gang, so that could be an interesting pullback.
Yeah. And Justin says Starman. But I think Vandal Savage might be interesting. Maybe. It's another Earth. They could do it. I don't know, because I feel like season 1 they had a team. Season 2 it's just been an individual for the most part. I don't know where you go from here.
I mean, one thing they could do is that they have one villain for 6 episodes, and then they have one villain for the final 7 episodes of season 3. Like, like
Like split it like how Flash has been doing arcs.
yeah, like
Okay.
not that I'm against what they've done so far with season 1 and 2 because they only have 3 episodes, but I think that if, you know, it could be interesting to see how that could look like.
Hmm.
Roulette, Gentleman Ghost would be fun to see as well. Yeah, Roulette. I am always here for Roulette.
Well, her name is Frost now. Excuse you.
I don't know if she's like my top favorite. Like, I mean, I like her.
Her suit's awesome. Her new suit's awesome.
I do love it. Yeah, this is the
Yeah.
best costume she's had.
Yeah.
And maybe they could do. I'm looking who see they have. Like maybe the Black Dragon Society.
Mm. Yeah, people keep talking about this too about the Batman and Stargirl on the same Earth. It's not.
Yeah, and it was just like I think like
Yeah.
a slip up that a writer did. I remember exactly what they're talking about now, and I think it was just
Yeah, and they definitely don't want to intertwine that. Like it's two separate things entirely. Okay, guys. Well, it's been fun. I want to thank everybody for showing up and celebrating Andy's birthday, even though he's walked off, I think, twice now, because he's been or maybe now it's been 3, I think 3 times.
I mean, I'm old man Andy now, so like I gotta be controversial now. I gotta.
You get frustrated and you just walk off. Like, you just walk away. But that's all it's too much. Golden Glider on the Flash. My God.
I'd rather have Captain Cold.
Yeah. Oh, he's returning. Wentworth Miller's on Legends. He's gonna return for the 100th episode. I know.
I mean, if they bring him back alive and send him to the Flash, then I'm good with it. Oh, thanks everyone. Thank you.
B-Day, happy birthday, Old Man Logan. Yeah, that was the reference he was making. He wanted to make the reference to Old Man Logan.
I jokingly asked, we should like name the stream like birthday.
And then I did it.
And
I literally pulled up our conversation and then named it exactly as you put it. I was like, that's perfect. It's funny.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I something I do exaggerate like how old I actually do feel that I am, but like I
hear you, man. I hear you. Because my right knee, when I sit down or stand up, my right knee sometimes hurts a little bit. I don't know why. I don't know if it's maybe I'm sitting wrong. I don't know if because sometimes when I fall back in my recliner over here, I fall back. Like I don't actually sit down properly. So maybe that's my issue. I don't know. It could be anything. It could be on the same earth. I'm just saying, like in terms of the property, I don't think Matt Reeves wants this connected to Stargirl on the same earth. I just don't think so.
And it's not out of like hate or anything like that. I think they just want to start fresh and
and keep it separate. Because if they're intertwined on the same earth, that means Stargirl can't do anything really crazy, because then it would be on Batman's radar. Yeah. And then they can't do something too crazy on Batman in terms of him, like Gotham going destruction, then just something ridiculous that would be all over the news. Stargirl would have to cover that.
I would add a counter proposal. I think that whatever new Superman movie J.J. Abrams is doing, I think that should be set on the Batman's Earth. I think that could be pretty cool.
That would be cool.
I do like Legends. I do think there's just some moves that I don't care for, because I feel that why would you have to take the Flash, Captain Cold from the Flash, and then just kill him off? And I just don't like how they take care of some other show, and then they do some of them have been improved, of course, like we have Sarah Lance, for example. But when Mick Roy, that's not even Heatwave to me anymore. That's just Dominic Purcell running around with a gun and just grunting all the time, and I don't care for it. So I don't hate Legends. I do really enjoy Legends. I just I think I'm more willing to talk more about my critiques of that show than maybe others, because I do think it's like it has issues. So
yeah,
and I don't like what they did with Constantine. So I do enjoy Legends, but kind of love everything. So
all right, everybody. Hope you all have a great Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday, so hopefully you all have a great Friday and a great weekend. Subscribe to Andy. My thing just went out. What happened there?
You just transformed into a free dog.
I sure did. My camera went out. Go subscribe to Andy on his YouTube channel. Make sure you follow him on Twitter, and Type in his name there. His name over there. Type it on YouTube. Subscribe to his channel. Follow his live streams, and I think he might start making content. So make sure you guys go over there and follow him on his social media as well, because he's posting stuff over there as well. And he's got DCTV podcast, all that kind of stuff. It's his birthday. Make him feel special. Give him all the love and everything.
And subscribe to Chain and follow on social media.
Don't do that. That's a terrible idea. There's a lot of bad things. You don't want to see it.
Because my feed is so much better. But thank you everyone for the birthday wishes, and I hope everyone has a great Thursday and a safe Friday, and next weekend DC fandom, y'all.
It's coming. Be prepared, everybody.
Crazy.
Be prepared. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.